In this video, I'm going to go over the 4 different assignment types and explain how they would work within a classroom that uses both online assignments and offline assignments. So to review, the idea is that you're not so much making students do everything on Canvas. What you're doing is you are creating a place for them to find all of the information for everything they do in class, whether it is online or not. So you already have an agenda where it's, the week at a glance, and they have assignments that roll through, whether they are projects or homework assignments or tests or quizzes, whatever. Where do the kids go to see all of that together? Or do they just kind of have to piece it together like a puzzle, a little bit from Canvas, a little bit from Google Classroom if you're still using that, a little bit from in-class? If we really want kids to be able to take responsibility, we've got to also give them the consistency to rely on. So that's what the goal of this situation is, giving them consistency. So to start, I'm going to go over the different types of assignments. Everything we do can fall into one of these 4 categories, and so that we can maintain consistency. So the first one is very traditional. Bring a completed paper copy of whatever assignment it is or project and turn it in at school on the due date. There's absolutely no tech involved in this. It's a very traditional homework style. The next one is complete the assignment online and submit it on Canvas by the due date and time. This one requires technology. This one requires that they turn something in online by a certain date and time. The next type is completed in class on paper and turned in on the due date listed. So this could be something that is turned in class same day that they did it, or they started in class, turned it in the next day, whatever, but this one does not require any technology either. Last but not least, completed in class, digitally, and turned in on the due date, whether that's that day in class or later on as homework. This one requires the technology. So all 4 of these types of assignments can be listed on Canvas so that whatever they have coming up, whatever is going into the gradebook, they have the information for it. Let me show you what it looks like. So as a teacher, I am back in my assignments bank, so to say, or folder. So students don't have access to this. I'll be linking each of these assignments where they make sense in my course, but I'm going to show you each of the different types of assignments that can be listed on here. So we're going to start with this one, and I would highly suggest, notice that I've got a naming convention. I know that next year we're probably not going to have the daily grades, so you don't have to make it look just like mine, obviously. Make it fit yours, but if you have a naming convention that's very clear, it's very helpful and it helps with the consistency. So if we're going to look at this first one, it's a review. So like a review for a test. I have set up a template for myself as this hypothetical teacher. So I always have assigned the day I told the students about it, when it's due, and the time. If you just say just the due date and you're not clear about what time of day, whether it's the beginning or the end of class, it can get a little hairy. I created these visuals to help my students, and I'm happy to share these visuals with you if you'd like them. I always have a how to turn it in, complete the review, hand it out in class, and bring it to class with you on the due date. And I've noted here physical copy. The assignment directions, I explain like I would in front of the class what I'd say. If they need extra copies, I link here. And then if they need any extra help, I might have a website that could help them, or videos, or whatever else they might need for this review. Notice that here it says points 100 and it says submitting on paper. So when students see this, they're seeing all of this information and they're seeing that it is turned in on paper. And I've kind of got it in 2 different places, maybe 3 if you want to look up here at this due date. But it's very clear that what this assignment is and where it's turned in. So let's go to the next one. A debate poster. So this one, they are creating something digitally. I've got when I told the students about it, when it's due and the time. Then I've got my graphic that explains it with a visual. How to turn it in: complete your debate poster online or create a physical debate post and take a picture of it and submit it online. So either way, they're submitting it online. Directions: these would be longer directions probably. It may have a link to an instruction page, or you could just put instructions in here. For resources, the rubric, you could put a rubric on here if you'd like to. I would still put a link to a rubric so that they don't have to scroll down for it. They could just have it. They have two different places to find it. If you wanted to put example posters, any resources that would help them with this assignment. And notice that this is a file upload, as I mentioned, and how to turn it in. And you could add more information to this, but this is an example of one that they could do digitally and turn in digitally. Next is our silent debate. So again, assigned, due. This one they're doing in class digitally. It's a discussion, so there's actually nothing to submit to this assignment because the grade is going to be on the actual discussion. So this could be, if we wanted to do that poster that we looked at in the other assignment, if I wanted them to turn it in digitally here, like we're doing it in class and it's not homework, I could have that set up as turning in a file as well. But I'm just showing you another option here. So just because it's done online doesn't necessarily mean it has to have something submitted physically to this assignment. And last but not least, a test. This is not me saying put your test online. This is me saying put the information out there so students, again, have that one-stop shop to find everything that's going on that's going to happen. So again, when you told the kids about the test, when it's due, obviously it wouldn't be told and then done the same day. How to turn it in, it explains we'll be completing this assignment on paper in class. Notice that there's a little note here. If you're absent, please schedule a time with your teacher to make up this test. So directions might say what the test will cover, study aids, an extra copy of the review with answers if you do that, additional videos, handouts, information to help them study. So if kids are absent, they still have all of this information. If kids forget when the test is and they just want to go into Canvas and see what's coming up, you've got it listed here, and it's not just on an agenda or on your board somewhere. They can always access this. Notice that submitting says on paper. So again, it's very clear they're not actually submitting online, but the information is there for them. So while pretty much every assignment your kids could do can be lumped into one of these 4 assignment types, you have some flexibility in how you do it. But if you just get that template for what the assignment page looks like and have it be very consistent so that students really can click over to their syllabus, which is on the side here, and anything that is in your assignments is going to come up with the due date. They can click on it. It's going to take them to the assignment. They really have a true one-stop place to figure out what they've got going on. It's not them putting a puzzle together trying to figure out what's online, what's not, how do I turn this in, I need some help with this, where do I get help, where do I get extra copies? It's all right here. Now, I showed you 4 different types of assignments, and 2 of them required students to work on Canvas and turn something in on Canvas. If you are not there yet, if you're not ready for them to do things on Canvas, you can still post all of your assignments with the information on Canvas so that they still have the assigned, the due date, how they're turning it in, when they're turning it in, the instructions, and any resources that they need. So you don't have to do or create assignments for them to turn in and do online. You can use this method even if everything they do is going to be physical on paper or in class. So don't feel like this requires you to step too far into the Canvas world. You can just use this as a way to keep everything organized and stay in communication with your students and parents. And yes, the first few weeks of school, as you get kids used to this and parents used to this, there is a learning curve. But once you do this, It makes your life and their life and everybody's life so much easier. I hope you're interested in using this method to make your life easier. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to help you get it set up. I've already helped a couple teachers get this set up, and they are ecstatic about the possibilities.